Namaste, Prakashia, Dharma Tales. Let's debate. Welcome to the next episode. One of the most fascinating stories in Mahabharata is about the life of Karna. Many of us know the triumphs and tribulations that he went through in the life. Having stood with Duryodhan, what he gained or what he lost, including his own brothers, in spite of knowing the truth. But how many of us actually know what caused Karna to go through what he went through in his life? One of the fascinating aspects of Indian mythology is that some of the answers do not lie directly in that story itself. For example, Mahabharata does not provide a direct answer as to why Karna went through what he went through. And for that, we have to look at Bhagavatam, which provides a great reference tool for many of the things that happened, specifically in the times of Mahabharata. Why it happened, who are these people, what really caused them to go through in their life what they went through. Let's look at the life of Karna from his previous births to see what he went through and what was caused, what was actually causing him, what was stopping him from moving on to be on the side of his brothers in spite of knowing what the truth is. Because in some way, his hands were bound and tied, and that kept working through him, manifesting him through his life, and made him to be with Kauravas irrespective of what happened. Let's look at his past life. In one of the past lives, rather the immediate past life of Karna, he was supposed to have been a person with Asuric tendency, almost bordering on being a demon, as they would call. He was called as Dambodhva. That was the name that was given to that incarnation while he lasted in that life. He was a good person overall, but suddenly the urge to become powerful went to his head. And then, as is known in those days, he went and started doing a penance. He was a great devotee of Lord Sun. He did a tremendous amount of penance to such an extent, which ran for thousands of years, to such an extent that Lord Sun came in front of him. And as was known in those days, he offered him a boon of anything of his choice. The first boon that Dambodhva asked is to make him immortal. He said it's not possible, it's against the law of nature. He said, you told me you'll give a boon of my choice. He said, it's not possible, please ask me something else which I will give you. I like your devotion, I like your love, I like your penance, I have to give you. And then Dambodhva chooses the next one, which is much more dangerous as it turns out to be. He says, give me 1,000 armors, kavach. He said, that's very easy, I'll give you. But he says, my lord, I want it added with a boon, that whoever is able to break this kavach will die immediately. And imagine having 1,000 kavachs or 1,000 shields, armors around him. And how would it be possible? As such, he was very powerful. It was not easy even to get near him. And even if you have to get near him, if you happen to break, because before you kill him, you have to break 1,000 kavachs. And if you break one kavach and if you die, and then the game is sort of over. Now Lord Sun is tied in knots. He is bound by his own word. He said, I won't make you immortal, but I'll give you anything else. And then Dambodhva is very smart in asking for a boon, which is like this, give me 1,000 kavachs, and each kavach, if somebody is going to break, after they break it, they have to die. And grudgingly, Lord Sun gives this boon to Dambodhva, and then he goes away. Dambodhva initially is all right, but later the power that he is able to wield gets into him. He starts fighting with everyone, conquering everything that is around him. And in short, he becomes such a menace that it's almost impossible to do away with him. But The story goes in favor of such people, at least in the short run. How do you fight with such people? At this point of time, there is a character called as Dakshan, Daksha in those times, whose one of his daughter was married to Lord Shiva himself. He had another daughter. This daughter was actually then married off to one of the sons, the four sons of Brahma, and they lived very happily. And then it so happens that she, in the place where they are living, Dambodwa comes and creates problem in the ashram that they live. And then she starts doing penance and invites Lord Vishnu himself. And Lord Vishnu is very happy with the penance, and then he makes an appearance. And then she very clearly says that this Rakshas, this demon has to be killed. You need to do something about this. And then Lord Vishnu says, since you have Narayan, since you have asked and your penance, I am so happy with what you have gone through. I'll give this boon to you. And it so happens that Lord Vishnu gives birth as not one but two children, twins, literally identical with two bodies, literally, but just one soul kind of a twin. And she happily names them as Nara and Narayana. And these children grow up slowly. And it so happens one of the days that Dambodwa comes and creates problem in the ashram where they are there. And then they come to know the story. And it so happens that they have been preparing themselves for quite some time to do the fighting for which they have come down. And Nara goes and challenges Dambodwa. By this time, Dambodwa has got the name of Sahasra Chakra. I mean, he has 1,000 shields, the Sahasra Kavach, as he is called. A person who has 1,000 armors around him. It's almost impossible to kill. And then Nara goes and challenges him that I want to fight with you. And he's just a kid, looks very young, very innocent. And Sahasra Kavach, Dambodwa, makes fun of him, saying that, you want to kill me? Do you know who I am? And then he says, I know how to kill you. I'm going to fight with you. And then he says that you have to clean or clear 1,000 of my armors, 1,000 of my shields before I can be dead. Do you know that? He says that I'm prepared for it. And Dambodwa was actually surprised. He says, how do you plan to do it? And then Nara explains, while I'm going to fight with you, my brother Narayan is actually meditating to get the powers that is needed for me to remove one of your kavach. And whatever he is meditating, since we are identical twins, I'll get all the powers that he has, which I'll use to kill you. And it so happens that the fight goes on for about 1,000 years. And when finally, after 1,000 years, Nara breaks the first kavach. And as per the curse or the wish that Dambodwa had made, he has to die. But this time, something very surprising happens. There, Narayan comes in. Narayan has now, by this time, meditated and got what is known as a Mrityunjaya Sakti, which means to be immortal. He, as he comes back, by this time, Nara resurrects, he goes into the forest as he's about to be killed. And Narayan has transferred his power of Mrityunjaya onto Nara. And by this time, the first kavach has gone. And now the cycle continues. Now Nara has gone into the forest to meditate and get Mrityunjaya, the power of Mrityunjaya or being immortal, while Narayan continues to fight. This goes on and on and on. It is said that they kept on fighting for 1,000 times or 999 times of 1,000 years. When finally it so happens that 999th kavach is removed, there's only one left. And now Dambodwa very clearly knows that his time has come. He's going to die. Now what he does is he runs and hides with the Lord's son. He says that, please save me. They are going to kill me now. I have lost 999 of my kavach. Lord's son very clearly knows that he is doing something wrong. Yet because of the love and devotion of Dambodwa, he gives him shelter. By this time, Narayan himself, Narayan and Narayan, both of them come there, who are nothing but the reincarnation of Lord Vishnu. They're there, and then they try to put some sense into Lord Sun, saying that please give him back because he is a monster, he cannot be kept alive. But Lord Sun very clearly says that I have given the commitment that I am going to protect him because he is my devotee. He loves me so much. At this point of time, Narayan, who is the reincarnation of Lord Vishnu, they curse, both of them together. They curse Lord Sun, saying that for now, going against the wish of Lord Vishnu himself, I curse you hereby to born in the world as a human being, along with the Bodhva. The story sort of ends here, and then it continues. By this time, that Yuga, Treta Yuga, comes to an end. And then Dwapara Yuga is supposed to have started. That's when the story of Mahabharata happened, at the end of which became Kali Yuga. And it so happens that in this process, Lord Sun, along with Dambodhva, gets reborn together as the son of Kunti or as Karna. And it so happens that Nara and Narayana are born again in the time of Mahabharata as Lord Krishna and Arjun. And that is precisely the reason why Lord Krishna does not allow Karna to come finally to the side of Pandavas at all. Because had he come to the side of Pandavas, he would have become the friend of Pandavas, which means the purpose of the birth of Arjun and Lord Krishna would have not been fulfilled, to kill Dambodhva, whose current form is Karna. And he would have perpetuated on and on. He would have continued. And to ensure that they kill him once and for all, they take the help of Lord Indra, who is brought down. And then he goes and gets as an arm from Karna without even in this birth, though Karna doesn't know who he is. He goes for an arm and then gets the only kavach that Karna has. And now he now becomes, the invincibility is gone. And it so happens that he gets killed finally. And then the curse that was given to both of them sort of gets over and Karna gets killed. This is the hidden story behind why, in spite of knowing what is right or what is good, Karna's mind was always on the side of Kauravas. At least that's what Lord Krishna maintained it. Because if he had allowed Karna, in spite of Kunti knowing who he is, in spite of at some point of time, even later, Pandavas coming to know towards them who he is, he did not allow Karna to come to this side. Because had he come here, the promise that he gave to the daughter-in-law of Brahma, the son of Brahma's, the wife of Brahma's son, it would have been nullified. How stories manifest in multiple life, how lords keep taking multiple forms to ensure that Dharma is restored. This is a very interesting and very powerful story. I would like you to go to the comment section below the video and share what are your thoughts, what are the learnings, how strangely Dharma and Karma work in spite of it spanning multiple lives. The same happens to many of us too in our lives. Whatever is unfolding, many times we find that there is some kind of a connection from the earlier times, from somewhere, sometimes many times we don't even know. Yet in strange way, Dharma gets restored. Go to the comment section, share your views. Let's see what you have got to say for this video and for this story. Dharma Tales, let's debate. Till we meet again, this is Prakash signing off.